It is Wednesday, July 24th, 2019, and we are performing a sewer line inspection of, we just said this, 2693 Poplar Street, and we're going in through a 3-inch cast iron line in the base, in a mechanical room behind the water heater. My counter is not cooperating. So it doesn't give us much. Still, nonetheless, we can still. Here's something to see what it looks like now. How locate it for building a new garage or something. Okay, this is the cast iron portion. Camera's underwater, and it looks like we're deep underwater, but the truth is that the water's not that deep.
Gotcha.
Remember, the eye of the lens is like running right along the bottom here. Right?
Is it like the size of a pen, give or take?
Exactly, right. Now notice how we're not running any water right now, but you see the water's flowing. Hence, the camera has acted as a cleaning agent and has opened up everything.
Gotcha.
So again, where I'm going with this is, it may look kind of funky, but actually what you just looked at was actually perfectly good cast iron. Now we've switched to from cast to clay. This is going to be in your older homes that are older than, say, 1980. 78 through 82 is where a lot of homes switched from clay to plastic.
Okay.
Now, what you're seeing, and by the way, this is like an oncology thing. It's not seeing things. That's good.
Gotcha.
Okay? Alrighty? It's kind of like golf. The less you do of it, the better you are. Okay?
And this is all outgoing water?
Correct. Right now
Yes.
we're going out and bearing straight.
Out the backyard.
The backyard's this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay, correct. Okay. So we're going like this right now.
Okay, cool.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we're out in the middle of the backyard. Like
Okay,
that.
sounds good.
Yeah. But here's what you're not seeing is, notice how there's no roots. Look at how tight. I mean, look at that. See, that's the amount of roots you got? That's
Pretty good.
somebody put a haircut on that just recently. Okay, that's a good quality cleaning right there, perhaps. This doesn't look like it's been cleaned. I'm just saying you don't have crazy, thick, scary roots. This can be cleaned with just an ordinary drain cleaning. We charge $125 an hour. This would be the kind of thing that costs you about $150 to get cleaned out. I would recommend. There's right there. This is scary looking, but I'm telling you, the blades will just chew it right up.
And it's not across the entire thing.
Correct.
So it's not
But
that
here's what I
huge.
really want you to do that. See, it's how tight. These aren't. You don't have shifting and separating and whatnot. It's healthy now, and to me, it looks like it's going to be that way for a long time. So this portion that I'm looking at right now, this just needs to be hygiene. It's all it is. That's just a buildup of goo on the sides and a little tiny amount of roots here. But notice you don't see any cracks or offsets. A belly is a divot. You don't have any of that. Notice how everything's this is really boring, right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. When we get to the exciting part, that's exactly what you want.
Okay, cool.
All I'm doing here is scraping off some walls. So it is a little on the repulsive side, but I mean, this is the scariest part of the tour so far, and it's just a little bit of roots and some gunk. So far, you're doing great. When we get to the tap, no one's given this a cleaning recently, but the cap came off smoothly. You've got plenty of room for a machine right here. This won't be a problem, child, to clean.
Gotcha. Is it the type of thing that would need to be cleaned immediately too, or because it's in decent shape, like maybe a year?
You're on the buyer side or sell side?
Buyer.
I would ask the seller to, the sellers like to do this because, one, if your deal falls apart, they've got a clean line at the end.
Gotcha.
Right? So they have no reason to say no. It's an inexpensive.
It's a couple hundred.
Yeah, so for a couple $100, they can knock a resolution item off their list. That's a cheap thing to, it's great to be able to do that. So almost always the sellers will easily agree to that one.
Okay.
And I highly, highly recommend, You can't skip up, when roots are there, you can't just give up on it, you know, we'll do it sometime later.
And that's usually not on the price of the house, that's just in closing costs that money would get shifted around?
No, they would.
No.
They would actually come in with a machine, clean it, and get that person, and then give you the receipt.
Present you with proof that it was done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
And the receipt is for title to see that there's no chance of a mechanic's lien. What we do is we send a picture to the agent while we're doing it, and that ends the question right there. They forward it on to their customer. This is your tap. Now, what we want to look for here at the tap is cracks and breaks, and nothing. Yeah, I mean, you can't see anything there.
What about, or is that just
No. Okay, you have to come out at 2%, right? So here's your pipe right here. So when you come here, you have to do some have some adjustment rings. We call these donuts, and that's why you have these little funky things like this.
Okay.
But no. This is, if it's difficult to see, it ain't scary.
Okay.
This doesn't bother me at all. I don't. Yes, there is
It's a fun thing.
an imperfection, and that's all it is.
Gotcha.
But it's a zit. It's nothing. It's meaningless in the greater scheme of things.
Okay.
But see how, look at it. See, this line and this line are really lined up smoothly. So you can see how it hasn't had a problem. Shifting is for sure done now. Okay, this house is well past its growing pain stage.
70 years. is
Yeah,
enough
exactly.
time
Yeah,
to
that's enough
settle
time
in, yeah.
to get through adolescence.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, John, if this was cleaned, what would be the useful life on it going forward?
It will outlast you.
Okay, that's good to know.
He's young, so.
Yeah, let your grandchildren deal with it.
Okay.
Let, you know,
Okay.
Worry about it in some other generation.
Okay, that's good to know.
But
And you are.
You know,
Oh,
you know, I'm saying a general rule of thumb is these things are measured in decades. You know, so you got about I'm assuming probably another 3 or 4 decades. If you clean out the roots, roots will always grow and expand and break everything that they get onto.
Yeah.
If you keep this thing cleaned, I mean, you're really talking in a long growth horizon.
So if we get the seller to do it, just curious, how often do you recommend cleaning that to keep the life going? Every couple of years, or?
Once a year, once every 2 years for sure.
Okay.
Once a year would be better.
Gotcha.
Now, as we're coming, it's easier to see these things when you're coming back. Kind of like when you're on a boat. You don't get seasick as much if you look off the back of the boat as opposed to the front. Same with this. See how it's no longer gross.
You cleared out a lot of gunk, so
Yeah.
you got better.
So well, now you can, but you also get you're not plowing at it, so you're not. See how the bottoms? It's just you can see the bottom. The fact, it's just good. You can see what's going on in this thing. That stuff looks big and chunky and gross, but the truth is, it's going to flush right out while the blades are in there. It chops all that stuff up. It's really easy to deal with.
And you are responsible basically for
From
that
to the
tap
tap.
all the way.
And the tap is just like the line that all the houses connect to,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, the tap in this case is the opening to the city's main. So
Gotcha.
you're going to hear me talking about your main. This is actually technically called a building main.
Okay.
Then it gets out to the city main.
So all of our lines going this way, the city main's going this way, and they all just kind of.
And it runs right down the center of the alley, and every neighbor taps in. So another one thing you can do is go to the alley and look up and down and see if you see a lot of patch sections going out to the center of the alley. If you don't see that, that means that nobody's had any problems.
Gotcha.
But sometimes you'll go to a neighborhood and you'll see a lot of repair marks all over the place. In those cases, it's we have to, when we do our scope, we do it. Obviously this one there's just nothing to see. Stevie Wonder can tell you how this scope is, but on some of those we have to really
Like my
fight.
neighborhood.
So there's your big. You do have roots. They're not terrible, but they must not be. It's a great way to, because they're not going to give you a lot of concessions on this house.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with the wood down here?
Probably just paint it. I'll probably leave it here, this color, but in this room at least paint it white to
Really?
match the bedroom in there. Yeah, I'm not positive. Like long term, maybe knock it out and replace, but I'm not sure if it's worth it right away.
Can I give you some advice on that?
Sure. Don't.
Right. Don't try to make the bedroom. It's already painted white right now.
Yeah.
Leave it that way. You can't, once you've painted the wood, you're fucked. And you can't unfuck painted wood. You got beautiful stuff in there. Let it go for a while. And I have a feeling you'll find that it grows on you quickly.
Interesting.
And but the other thing is then doing it this way, you have your everything is the bedroom is separated and it's distinct, and you know what I mean.
Fair.
And you can't. It's very difficult to make a basement cool and sexy. So you know you're limited already. That's why I'm saying that.
Cool. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. Anytime you gotta